All right, what's going on, guys? We are back with another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what could we see coming next. So Saiyan Day, the whole celebration is kind of winding down. Everything post anniversary is winding down. We had the Deborah celebration led right into the Majin Vegeta, so we saw a lot of Buu Saga. Now, as we kind of go through this video, we're going to try to speculate what we think we could see for the next Dokkanfest, which should happen around March 31st or April 1st. Now, we've seen it happen both of those times before in the past, so there's really no actual way to tell what they're actually going to do, except for a little bit of speculation. So let's go ahead, let's jump in. First off, looking at the Same Day campaign, everything is pretty much winding down. We just finished up the Fated Showdown events here, so we're just waiting for the results for that. The only thing we have left is this Supreme Descendant Battle Revised. Is supposed to be coming tomorrow, actually, so we will have this live in game. And then if we go all the way down, what I'm looking at here is the Elder Kai banner. Now again, this is not always 100% accurate reading of when we will get the next celebration, when we get the next Dokkanfest, all that stuff, but it's usually pretty darn close. So if you look at the Elder Kai banner, it is set to refresh at 1 a.m. Eastern on the 1st. So for me, that makes me think that Eastern time, at least, the 1st is when we will see the next Dokkanfest. Now, who could we see? Well, if you look back in the past, we had Cell last year, which phenomenal unit. The celebration itself was very fun. They always do some sort of April Fool's gag or mode or something to kind of tease. And I think the Cells last year was so much fun with the Cell hacked Dokkan kind of deal, finding the secrets and cracking the code and doing all that stuff. That was so much fun. I hope they do something anywhere close to as similar as this next year or this year, right? So we had Cell last year. Before that was Topo. So I'm basically going off of these are the times the releases for global. What I'm going off of are the release dates for JP. So if we switch over to Japan, you can see right here, March 31st, 2024 was Topo. So I like to go off of the JP timeline because before we were 100% synced up with our timelines, JP was the traditional timeline, right? So Topo was in this slot. Then we saw Turles. After Turles, we saw Raditz. Then we saw Videl. Before Videl was the Kaioken Goku. Then we saw Hit. We saw another Turles. We saw Super 17. We saw Ultimate Gohan. So as you can tell, there's really no rhyme or reason as to what the character is going to be. It's typically one of these, I don't even want to call them lower hype characters, because someone like Turles really isn't lower hype. I guess he is lower hype, but Cell's not really a low hype character. Videl, obviously, yes. Raditz, definitely. This dude has gone down in history as the worst Dokkanfest ever released. So my boy here needs some redemption at some point. They need to release a new Raditz or something this year, next year, sometime soon, just to redeem themselves with this, because it's laughably bad. And then Topo obviously not being a super hype character as well. So this is a good time to release one of those characters. We're still coming off the high of the anniversary. The Saiyan Day celebration, like I said, they knocked that out of the park with the Majin Vegeta pick. Super fun, a lot of good content. So this is where things get kind of quiet. And then we go into Golden Week in May, which it kind of half ramps up again, I guess. It's not as big of a celebration as Anniversary or GDC or TDC, but it's kind of in the middle there. So we're going to go downhill a little bit. It's going to be a little quieter this next month. And then it'll slowly ramp up again, kind of go back down, go into TDC, kind of ramp up again. It's going to be a roller coaster throughout the whole year. So again, this is a good time for them to release some lower hype characters. Now, who could we see? Based off of certain events. So I'm going to look at certain events that we have available to us now that maybe some of the category missions could kind of lead us in a way. At least this is the way I kind of look at it here. It's not always indicative of it, but there has been cases where Dokkan will release missions or certain categories conditions that players have a difficult time with until the new character comes out. And then they're like, okay. And then you get the new character, you run through, it's a lot easier, it makes a whole lot of sense. So as we're looking at these, so this is for the Ultimate Red Zone. The Ultimate Red Zone mission was for 6 Majin Buu Saga. That's covered by Majin Vegeta, right? I don't think we're going to see another Majin Buu Saga at all for this next celebration. That was covered by Majin Vegeta. The Supreme Innocent Battle mission needed Resurrected Warriors. This could point to something, but I highly doubt it because Vegeta, again, was Resurrected Warriors category because of the Angel Goku. So I think, again, this is covered. We look at Union Master, Pure Saiyans. It could. I've seen Union Master kind of point towards some of these newer characters coming up, but Pure Saiyans, again, covered by Majin Vegeta. He leads the category. I think that's just straight up for him. Extreme Super Battle Road had a Legendary Existence category stage. If we look at the Legendary Existence category, this is actually something for later. Let's actually go here. Legendary Existence. There's 1 leader, 2 leaders, if you want to count Beerus. There's 1 real leader, and that's the Namek Goku. Now the team, you can build a decent team, get this done, right? Bunch of UI Gokus, bunch of Brolys, all that stuff. You can still get this mission done without having a newer character. But could we see Legendary Existence be part of the next Dokkanfest? I think it's possible. One of the other major things that I kind of look at is Dokkan Frontier. So the Dokkan Frontier mode came out. We went through about a portion of the Namek Saga. I won't even say half the Namek Saga. We went through about a portion of the Namek Saga, right? It leads up all the way up to Frieza's fight with Nail. That's where Dokkan Frontier ends for now. After that, we kind of move forward. We're going to continue on with the story at some point whenever they decide to continue to release this. So because of that, I think Planet Namek Saga is going to play a major role at some point this year. It doesn't have to be right now, but at some point this year, I think Planet Namek Saga is going to have a major role, whether that's for the TDC, whether that's for GDC. Again, I think it all just kind of depends on when they plan on doing more stuff for Dokkan Frontier, releasing more of the stages, whether they're going to release all the rest of them at once or whether they're going to break it maybe like 3 parts, I think would be pretty cool as well. But, you know, we went through the fights. We fought Kui, we fought the Dorian Zarbon, we fought the Guinea Force, we fought, you know, technically kind of fought First Form Frieza in like a bonus fight. So now really all that's left for Dokkan Frontier in terms of Namek Saga, since we've beaten Ginyu. Well, I guess sort of beaten Ginyu. We got to the point where he body changed. So we didn't even get to fight like Ginyu Goku yet. So we'll probably pick up from there. So there's a whole lot of Planet Namek Saga left. Is basically what I'm trying to get at here. There's a whole lot of Planet Namek Saga still left to do. So I think we're going to see this as a major part of this year. Now, if it was to be part of the next celebration, Krillin, give me my Dokkanfest Krillin, please. Now, this was a free-to-play character that did drop alongside Dokkan Frontier, so that has me a little afraid that they would not do another Krillin anytime soon, even though he is just a free-to-play. He's only, you know, he's not even like a Dokkan Awakened Krillin. So, I mean, I think there's still a lot they could do here. You know, I imagine this guy's probably going to awaken with the next batch that gets released. But I would love to see a Dokkanfest Krillin and even maybe like a tag version of these guys, because these guys were needed for the Dokkan Frontier mode. You needed to have Krillin and Gohan for some of the missions, right? To get their special sticker and all that. I think a tag unit of this guy would be really cool. Now I'm trying to think further ahead into like the Dokkan Frontier of what we could see later. I don't think the stages are going to release now, so that's why I think like doing this, something like this now would be very cool. Another unit you could kind of use in the Dokkan Frontier mode, because you do need to have Planet Namek Saga characters. So I think releasing some sort of Namek Saga character here would do well, because then people can pick it up. People will be more enticed to try to summon for it because Dokkan Frontier is out. They'd be able to run the new shiny character in the event. I think it makes a smart choice. If they're not going to do this, another one of my choices here was Tapion. I think Tapion needs to get another Dokkanfest, or yeah, he just needs to get a new character in general. The last one we had was the LR Tapion and Minosha, which I think is due for an EZA as well, right? So this guy right here, I think they are well up for an EZA. Came out in 2021. So, you know, having a Tapion here, I think would be very cool. Pair it up with an LR Rudigarn or an LR Goku, or I mean, you can make this instead of Tapion Minosha, make it a like Tapion and Trunks, or Tapion and Trunks like a tag unit or something like that. I think it would be very cool. Or even a Tapion like Super Saiyan Goku, whatever you want to do. Super Saiyan 3 Goku could be another one. But Tapion himself, I think, deserves another card. It's about time this guy gets a EZA. So I think right here is a pretty good spot at this time slot to kind of push him in there, because again, it's not a very quote unquote hyped character, but I think he could do decently well. And again, I think this guy needs an EZA. All right, another kind of one I just kind of threw in at the end here, just based off like Here's Saiyans, legendary existence, things like that. Bardock, I mean, you can't really discount Bardock as a choice in a lot of these places, just because I think Bardock does well, right? I think he sells well. A lot of people are big Bardock fans. I know I like Bardock a lot, so I would like to have another new Bardock. Do I think we're going to get him? Probably not. But this does fit the bill for a lot of the things that we've seen from some of the category missions that we were kind of looking at. So Bardock is another choice that I would kind of throw in here, throw him into the ring. These are my three choices as like who I would really like to see. I'd really want a Krillin, Tapion, and then I'd be okay with a Bardock. He's kind of just like an iffy third. But yeah, so one other thing I wanted to look at here before we kind of wrap things up is to look at the categories. So again, I think Planet Namek Saga has a big role to play this year. If we were to do something for this celebration, trying to think low hype characters for this celebration, you know who really sticks out to me, and this is my wild card pick, and you've seen him on the he's on the thumbnail. Nail. Dude, how I would love to get a Dokkanfest Nail in this slot. I think that would be so cool. And you could do like a Nail into like an exchange with Piccolo where they fuse together. You could do something like that, and I think that would be really cool. Or you could even you could have it be a revive, like this character here, the Vegeta and Goku. Starts off Vegeta, he dies, revives into Goku. You could do the same thing here. Nail dies, revives with the fusion into Piccolo, and you can get Piccolo. I think that would be a pretty cool pick. That's my wild card for Planet Namek Saga for now. I would love to see Nail. I just would. I know a lot of people probably don't, but I would. And for the final fight in Dokkan Frontier, this Nail is crazy. Absolutely crazy. They gave him like so many buffs for that fight specifically, that if you had like another new Nail with the same kind of buffs in there, I think that'd be super fun and super cool. But yeah, so those are my picks for who I'd like to see next as the next Dokkanfest. Again, we should be seeing the character drop on the 31st or 1st, most likely the 1st of April, which means data download. If we assume the 1st of April, data download the 31st, details the 30th, and then if they do some sort of hint or teaser, I mean, we could see it as early as tomorrow, like tomorrow morning, like maybe by the time most of you guys are watching this, because I'm doing this at night, like Thursday night, the night of the 26th. So by the time most of you are seeing this, if we did get a hint on the 27th, then I was right. I guess we can kind of say I saw into the future. But I think the very earliest could be the 27th. I think the latest obviously the 29th, because the 30th I think is when we get the details. So either tomorrow or the 28th, I think we could get some sort of teaser if they decide to do one for the next Dokkanfest, or hint or something like that for the next Dokkanfest coming up on the 1st of April is what I'm throwing in there. And I would love, again, Krillin, Tapion, Bardock if they have to, but my boy Nail. Give my boy Nail some love, dude. I think he deserves it. He held off Frieza as long as he could to give everybody a little bit more time, to give Dende more time. So I think that'd be very cool. And we did also get like a free-to-play Dende here, right? He doesn't really do anything, but at the same time, he's here. So there is a Dende. Eventually, I'm sure this dude will awaken. He'll get a Dokkan awakening, all that stuff. So having a Nail here as well would make more sense to go along with like Dende. I think would be very cool. So those are my picks for the April 1st Dokkanfest. Coming up very soon. We will get the details very, very soon. Less than a week away. So hopefully we are right in our picks. But that's going to do it for the video today. So if you guys did stick around to the end, I do appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Do you guys think I'm kind of on the right track here with the character selection that I'm thinking of? You know, kind of looking at what we had last few years, the events that we've currently got going on, and then my picks here. Do you think I am batshit crazy, or do you agree with some of these? Let me know in the comments down below who you guys would like to see for the April 1st Dokkanfest. Like, subscribe, do the thing, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.